The foundation, continuing my thoughts on how to draft my goal mock draft. I mean, however you want to label it as. I'll be doing 11 from 11 to 15. Um, Now we're gonna start seeing some of the offensive players come off the board. One, one is because there's some injuries starting to creep up and all that, and unless the draft might change and all that. That's because depending on what their trainers and their medical staff says, like, oh, it's not going to be a problem, he's going to be ready by this certain time. It's not going to be a lingering problem as well too, or a debilitating problem. So so they'll, depending on that. But I think with the concerns overall, just going to go at it as by the concerns might change. So and then on top of that, this is probably the time to start getting those offensive players off the board. So with the 11th pick in the draft, the New Orleans Saints, they need defensive pass rush. They could use a wide receiver, a number one receiver for Drew Brees and all that. But what I think is that I think Sean Payton, I think he sees a lot of things in this kid, and like how I said earlier, you can get running backs, later. But I think with this kid, I think Sean Payton can see a lot of things with this kid, especially ever since they was trying for ever since Darren Sproles left. I think they've been kind of looking for that guy. So I'm gonna go with the 11th pick in the draft out of Stanford, the running back Christian McCaffrey. I mean, you can play special teams. There's a lot of positions this kid can play. Special teams. It's going to be a great pair with he can relieve Ingram, and also you can pair them in the backfield. You can put Christian McCaffrey in the slot, and he can be a decent slot receiver as well too. So there's a lot of things that you can do with him. So I think that's what's going to be very intriguing for Sean Payton. All right, the next pick in with the 12th pick, with the Cleveland Browns, I think they're gonna pull the trigger. I don't know if they went to the pro day, but the pro day, for the quarterbacks is all scripted, so there's nothing more you can learn. I think they got him in one of their visits already, and I think Hugh Jackson is very high on him, and Hugh Jackson, has been working very well with a lot of quarterbacks. So I think they're gonna finally pull the trigger and take Mike Trubisky out of North Carolina, the quarterback. Very accurate kid, good size, everything. And like I said, with what his name, with Hugh Jackson with him, I think he's gonna do a lot of work, a lot of teaching, and teaching that he can learn and stuff like that. And this is a very deep wide receiver class, so he can get another receiver, if they, when they choose to and stuff like that. But I think they're just going to pull the trigger now, get that out of the way. It's a very valued pick. At number 13, got the Arizona Cardinals picking. They could use defensive line help with Calais Campbell now leaving. They even could use a wide receiver. Or, this might have thrown them off about the whole Trubisky thing. They could have been looking at Trubisky as well too. With Carson Palmer, basically his career is coming to an end as well too. So I think that what his name? The head. I'm so bad with names right now. The head coach. He's also done well with quarterbacks. So would it throw them off? I don't think so. But I think they're gonna go with another defensive player. And with this kid, I think they're gonna see a lot of. They can see a lot of. The ceiling's gonna be very high for him. And so I'm gonna go with the cornerback out of Alabama, Marlon Humphrey. I think with his raw talent, young kid, with his size, his speed, and his length, and his physical as well too. Put him with Patrick Peterson and with Honey Badger in the back. I mean, you can work wonders with this kid's raw talent. So So I think with that having been said, I think they can really make this defensive backfield a very, very solid backfield secondary. So with the 14th pick in the draft, got the Eagles picking. They can take Deshaun Watson. Nah. They can take I don't know. This play. No, but they could use cornerbacks. They could, and with Benny Logan God, they could use the defense alignment. They also need cornerbacks, and they could with Carson Wentz, they could still build offensive weapons. There's the kid Ross, speedster down the field. There's Dalvin Cook still yet, there's a lot of guys they can go with, but I think they're gonna go with the defensive side and not a defensive lineman. I think they're gonna go with a cornerback. I think they're gonna go with Tre'Davious White out of out LSU. See, again, I'm drawing blank again on the names. They drafted the kid last year, and I think pairing up them together, is gonna give them a good, maybe a better backfield, with his size and length as well too, and with I know I don't really pay attention to the combine, but see him in the combine, he's very, he was very smooth with a lot of his cuts and all that, and that's the thing. That's a great thing to have and all that. So, and he's fat, he has decent enough speed to have that going, and it's kind of like a coin flip round. Some people say that, Tre'Davious White is kind of like up there with Marlon Humphrey and all that, and even Lattimore. He's kind of considered in the top 3. So I'm gonna go roll with him for that. But they could do something else. I don't care. So with the 15th pick in the draft, the Colts are picking there. They could use defensive players, anybody. They could also use an offensive line. They even could use a wide receiver and all that. But I just think that's because, and this might be trippy, because I think this might play into the fact what Ezekiel Elliott did, and I think with helping, not just because of the running game. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the overall, because there's only so much Tom Brady's and Aaron Rodgers and Peyton Manning's of the world out there that can play without a true running game and all that. But there's but to just see the relief and the relief that a good running game can have on your quarterback as far as like turnovers and this, more efficiency for an offense. So that's why I'm gonna roll with. And this is kind of trippy, 3 running backs in the first round is gonna be a very trippy thing. But I think they're gonna go with the running back out of Florida State, Dalvin Cook. I think with his, he's probably the most complete of the 3 running backs. He's a very willing blocker. He's very smart at picking up the blitz. He can catch out of the backfield, and he is a hell of a runner. He's a home run hitter. And with that being a threat, that's gonna help Andrew Luck cut down on his interceptions and all that. It's gonna help them to just pin the defensive diamond is to pin. Because it is a weak offensive line draft. You can protect the offensive line even with a good running game, because it's much easier to run block than pass block. So I think with him, and if he explodes bigger, it's going to make the defensive lineman tired. It's going to wear down the defense, and it's going to give defensive linemen hesitation to just constantly go after Andrew Luck and all that. So that's why I'm going to roll with that. All right. I'll do a pick maybe tomorrow. I don't know when I feel like doing it. But someone did ask me that, they was kind of like, what if this guy does this? I go, it's just my opinion. It doesn't mean anything, but if I want to, I'll make a video that says, what if they went this way rather? But if I want to do that, I doubt I'm going to do that. But if I feel like doing it, I will do it. All right. Mahalo for watching Paniella Boys, and go Cowboys.